Hi, buddy. This is the Kent Man Player. I'm Matt Pohl. I'm the host of this podcast show, and today's guest is my cousin Rigel Vertciglio. Rigel Vertciglio is a big baseball fan like me. I would say he's more of a player fan than a certain team. Yes, he has a team that he likes. Yes, he probably follows in his dad's footsteps on that, but I think everybody's a little guilty on that. You follow your family. You heard my story why I'm a Cubs fan, White Sox. You just fall into it. So he's my guest today. Enjoy the podcast. If you have any questions, leave in the comments and I'll answer them when I can. Thank you for watching and hit the subscribe button if you like this episode and want to see more videos like this. If you just like the video, hit like. It will help a lot. And thank you for taking the time to watch my show. Will work. Hey, Rigel. Welcome to the 10th Man Player podcast show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming on. So we've been long time baseball fans, grew up as cousins. What made you a baseball fan?
What made me a baseball fan? I think a big part of it was, for one, just my dad and my family loving baseball, and then the other thing would be the White Sox in 2005, winning the World Series. I just love that team. My favorite player was Tadahito Iguchi, the second baseman. I love ninjas, and he was my favorite player. But yeah, from then on, I just fell in love with the game, and once I started playing it, I couldn't get enough.
I remember you used to carry the DVD around quite a bit.
I did, yeah.
You watched that thing like to death to memorize every little play and players. And I remember Tsuzuki was your favorite player. I think he's coaching in Japan somewhere, if I'm correct. I haven't checked on him in a while. 2005. But didn't you grow up on the north side? What made you switch over from the Cubs to White Sox?
It's funny. I know you love to make fun of the story. I was a Cubs fan. I loved Sammy Sosa and Dusty Baker. There's pictures of me when I was like 3 years old with my Sammy Sosa jersey on. But once I found out that Sammy Sosa was cheating, that really changed it for me. Whether it was the cork bat or the steroids, as a little kid, you don't want to like anyone who's a cheater. So right around the time I found out he was a cheater was when the Sox started doing well, and my whole family was Sox fans, so it just made sense.
I mean, down at our mom's side of the family is mostly White Sox. I struggle with Cubs and White Sox on both sides of the family.
Yeah.
But what about Kazuchi stand out to you that you said he was like an ninja,
Yeah, I was obsessed with like Asian culture and yeah, ninjas. I always would like have a sword and be practicing my stuff with the sword. And we also had a guy Chingo. He was the closer in like 2004, and they would ring the gong when he would come in. And I just loved the Asian players. And then he made one play where he was kind of almost on his head as he threw it, and I remember seeing that and thinking it was really cool. But yeah, he wasn't my only favorite. I liked Creedy a lot too. Burley, all the classics, Konerko. I actually got the pleasure to meet. I got to meet Jim Thome about a month ago, so that was cool to get to shake his hand and tell him I'm a big fan. Obviously, he wasn't on the '05 team, but he was there right after. So
yeah, I know it's kind of a weird blend in, like right after they won the World Series, then they got Jim Comey, and it throws me off. Where it's like, wait, he wasn't on up 2005, but he blended in so well with the team. They almost seemed like he was part of that group.
It did.
You know.
It wasn't like the way. Do you remember when the Sox got Manny Ramirez and Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
right at the end of their careers? Tommy,
Yeah.
it was the end of his career, but he still had some good years with the Sox.
I mean, he got hit 500 home runs with the White Sox, I believe.
Yep.
With Cleveland.
I
I
think
know.
he got 500 with the White Sox. I know he got to 600, but I'm not sure if it was with the Sox. I don't remember.
Yeah, the White Sox are pretty good about getting these retired players near the end of
Oh, they love to do that. That's their favorite.
their career. So the White Sox, we all know, are playing horrible this year, and you probably know that they fired their manager. You
Yep.
know, what other thing do you think the White Sox need to do to change the team?
The White Sox right now, it's worrisome because from what I understand, the highest pick in the draft we can get is number 10. So we're having the worst season in modern baseball history, and it's not even like we're getting the number one pick where we're gonna have like
Yeah,
Paul Skeens or Bryce Harper or something like
yeah,
that. So we need to do a good job of finding a good first round pick next year. And I think the biggest thing is just all around drafting because they've shown that they don't really want to spend money on big
yeah.
time players. So it looks like we'll have to do it through the draft, which teams have done. You know, like the
I mean,
Rays,
that seems like the Dodgers. They built a good farm system.
they did.
You
The
know,
Rays
based on
always,
drafting.
yeah, yeah.
Go on.
The Rays always have like good bullpen arms that they get from their farm system. So yeah, I think the Sox they really just have to get a good farm system and develop their guys right.
Yeah. That thing about the Rays, they get all these good players, and they trade them away, and they still can't win the World Series yet. But
They've
it's
been close a couple times though.
yeah, they've been close a
They've
couple
made it.
times, you know. But hopefully someday we'll see something happen in the future with the Tampa Bay Rays. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping for them to stay. Would you want like Ozzie GM back as a manager, or do you want the Sox to go with a whole new manager, even though the White Sox owner is pretty known for hiring someone he knows in the stadium and not going outside the box?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Ozzy as the manager, but I think he's really the only guy who's been involved who I would like to see again, and it's probably mostly because of the nostalgia and the memories with him. Um, but like you said, I would love to see him step in a direction away from everybody that we know or who's been involved in the organization. I think it's time for some new blood around there.
Yeah, I think it's time for some new blood. And, as much as I like Chris Dick, I'm trying to give him a chance about being a GM, but like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Like, can you go outside the box and pick someone else? I mean, I did. It's hard to break in someone you don't know, and it's comfortable when you hire someone you do know. But
right,
at the same time, what are you doing? Do you want to build a winning culture, or do you want to build, you know, get a team that just can be there?
right.
You know, how do you
Yeah,
feel about this year?
I mean, I do like that he didn't trade away Crochet and Roberts at the trade deadline. As bad as the team is, I mean, year after year after year at the trade deadline, we've always just traded all our best players like Cease. I mean, Joe Kelly isn't really up there, but just year after year, just trading all our best players at the deadline. And it feels like if we kept all of them that we've traded,
Yeah,
maybe we'd still be all right. Um, like Fernando Tatis for example, we traded him away for James Shields like almost 5, 6 years ago now.
Yeah, that was a
Um,
bad trade.
Bad trade, and the list just goes on down the line of trades we've
I
made like that.
I would say when there was rumored that Lewis Robert Jr. may be traded, I was like kind of holding my breath, hoping they won't trade him. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I understand why they would either trade him and what they would do. Um, but when the deadline hit and I noticed that he didn't get traded, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Well, the thing for me too is he's had such a tough season that it
Yeah,
doesn't really make sense to trade him right now. I feel like you're trading him when his value is the lowest.
yeah.
So I think it was good we didn't trade him. And then, of course, we don't trade Crochet. And the other night he got lit up by the Cubs. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I did see. What was it? I was watching the other night Dodgers versus San Diego.
Yeah.
Michael Kopech, I think his
Yep.
name.
Go back. Yep.
Yeah, he was doing okay, but he was almost barely hanging on, as you know. And I was actually kind of surprised, but it might have been a good fit for him. They had him at the bullpen, and
Yeah.
I know he's a starter. It's like, wow, he's coming out as a bullpener,
Yeah.
not a starter. But maybe because they wanted to see how he played and get him to feel their game in LA. But
Yeah. I
no,
was
I hear what
always,
you're saying.
I've always been a fan of Kopak. We got our surgery done by the same surgeon, so I would
Oh,
always
that's
look at
cool.
him and hope he would do well because I felt like it'd be an indicator for me doing well that maybe our surgeon knew what he was doing. But yeah, I think he'll be good out of the bullpen. I think he was there a little bit earlier in his career. Actually, I know for sure he was out of the pen for the Sox. I think last
Yeah,
year.
and then he was a starter for a while too.
Yeah,
What do you think about all these White Sox that we had before, like Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu? They are now, released from the former team like Miami and Houston. That do you think the White Sox could have had a dynasty if we, you know, worked at it, or you know?
I guess I guess like when you bring up names like that, probably not. Just because yeah, we've traded a lot of guys at the deadline, let them sign elsewhere that it didn't work out for us. But those two guys in specific, which were really the heart of our team back in whatever that was, 2022, the last time we were good,
Yeah,
2021. Um, and yeah, they've just fallen off so bad. And I think with Abreu, I've heard rumors that Abreu was really older than he said he was because a lot of
I heard that
international
too.
yeah, a lot of international players come over and they say they're younger than they really are so that they have more time in their prime left. And I think Abreu is just he kind of hit a wall with age and wasn't his bat wasn't quite as quick anymore. And then Anderson, I felt like Anderson's career was over the day that he got punched by Jose Ramirez when he got knocked down like that. I was like, I don't know if there's any coming back from that. So
Yeah, when Kim Anderson signed with Miami, I'm like, oh, all right, this is a good fit for him because the vibe down there is all about fun and
yeah,
party, and Kim Anderson, that seemed to fit his personality.
yeah,
Um, how would that gonna work? I don't know. Now Jose Abreu, I was a little bummed that he went to Houston.
yeah,
You know, because I think we all know Houston now had a bad rap for the cheating scandal. So
yeah,
anyone who goes over there, you're kind of gonna have a little tough time. But
yeah,
I hope the best for him. I was hoping he'll stay with the White Sox, but as a player that you're not gonna play that long, so you might as well go where you can get the money.
yeah.
And it didn't work for him. He ended up getting released a couple seasons later. But and who's the other guy? I kind of like he threw a no hitter with the White Sox. Luis.
Giolito.
Yeah, now you don't hear about him anymore. It's like, what happened to him? He just kind of
Yep.
dropped off the face of the earth.
Yep.
So so there's many rumors about the Chicago White Sox moving to the South Loop. Do you know anything more? And what's your thoughts on it?
I don't really know too much about it. It wouldn't be far from my apartment, which I like that, but yeah, I don't know too much about it. My dad had talked to me a little bit how they're still paying the White Sox ownership is still paying back the city for the last stadium we built, guaranteed rate over there, Comiskey.
Yeah.
Um,
In
and
our mind,
so
it's Comiskey. It'll always be Comiskey.
yeah, it's always Comiskey. But yeah, I don't know too much about it. I don't think really the neighborhood that the stadium's in is the problem. I think it more has to do with the fact that the team's not any good. Because you've seen when the Sox put together a good team, they got passionate fans.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just hard to root for them.
It's hard to watch them. I remember, a couple months ago, I watched a game and they just looked horrible. They couldn't pitch, they couldn't hit, they couldn't even do anything. It's like, what the heck am I watching here? You
Yeah.
know. But you know, I don't know. I'm hoping that they'll stay on where they're at, but I want to say the stadium's not that old either, because
No, it's not. 30 years, maybe 25, 30 years.
it seemed like it's pretty new. Not like Oakland where it's like, okay, I get it, but at the same time,
The stadium's fine. The stadium's, I mean, a lot of
you know,
Cubs fans will hate me for this, but I like the White Sox stadium more than Wrigley.
that's okay.
I like the history at Wrigley. I think Wrigley's probably a more fun place to watch a baseball game. But as far as like infrastructure and things like that, like I would say the Cell Comiskey is better.
In my mind, I'm still used to the name Comiskey and U.S. Cellular whenever I think.
Yeah.
I always forget guaranteed
Yep. Guaranteed
deals.
rate.
Until I see the name, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
You know. So let's see what question do I have? Have you been going to any White Sox games and still trying to cheer for them or Cubs games, or what's your thought on the fan base? What you know?
I've been to 2 Cubs games this year. I haven't been to any Sox games. I've gotten invited to Cubs games where people gave me free tickets, and I haven't had that for any Sox games. So that's pretty much been the main deciding factor. But yeah, I mean the Sox fans, it's a lot of blue collar people. So as much as we love the Sox and we want to support them, I think a lot of people are essentially boycotting because we don't respect what the ownership's doing. The fact that there's only 3 MLB teams that haven't given a player $100 million contract, and one of them's the White Sox, and as big of a market as Chicago is, it's a little embarrassing. So it makes me hesitant to watch or to support them. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure it's a tough balance. I mean, like I always tell people about Chicago, you can't be too good, but you can't be too bad, because otherwise they'll trade you away
yep,
or something. So it's like you gotta find that middle ground of being a Chicago player. But
yep,
I didn't know about the White Sox not signing like 100 mil. You
yeah.
know,
They don't spend money.
well, Jerry doesn't want to spend money. He wants to hold on to
Uh,
all that money.
yep.
Um, would you say Jerry should sell the team, or would you, you know,
I mean, in my opinion, he's pretty old, and if it was me, I'd want to see a team that wins before before I go away, So I think Jerry should keep the team and spend a whole lot of money on players, both for the Sox and for the Bulls, um, and get to see the teams flourish, I guess, for the rest of his time.
Yeah, it's tough. I would like to see another World Series happen for the White Sox to, maybe uneven the World Series reign with the Cubs and stuff and see a little bit more competition. But, you know, the White Sox were a fun team to watch back in the day, with Paul Konerko, Joe Creedy, and, all these great players that, you know, it's hard to watch them now. Now it's kind of like, who this guy? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know who he is. And you don't see the compassion like they used to have. Like, I remember last year when they were saying that the clubhouse wasn't in a lawn. I don't know if you know this, but I can definitely see on the field that they didn't like each other that much. It seemed like, you know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they didn't care about each other. They didn't, stand up. They were kind of like they just want to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're seeing all these players. Like, I think I saw, what's his name? He the catcher for the Pirates now, and he might did it. Like, just send me anywhere but here kind of attitude.
Henry Davis.
It might be, you know.
I'm pretty sure Henry Davis was their catcher because he's uh, he's a friend of a friend. Some of my buddies played at Louisville with him. He was the #1 overall pick back in I think 2021, something like that.
No, it's not Henry Davis. Henry Davis was #1 pick for the Pirates.
Oh,
Um,
that's what I thought you said.
but he's a former catcher of the White Sox. Henry Davis actually, I think he got 10 bet down to the minor league. He was
Did he?
playing for a little bit, but,
So you're saying he used to be a catcher for the Sox?
yeah,
Grandal?
yeah, I think it might be John Dahl.
Yeah.
I know his first name starts with a Y, his last name starts with a G. You know,
Yeah, Yasmani. I think so.
yeah, he playing for the Pirates, and he seemed like he's doing fine out there.
Yep.
I mean, he did the catch for one of the #1 picks in the country, Paul Seed.
Yep.
So he's doing good. You
Yeah.
know, so who knows? I mean, we'll see if the White Sox can do anything in the next few years. I mean, it sounds like they're going to a rebuild, and
Oh
that
yeah.
rebuild's gonna take a while. Um, Are there any players that you would like the White Sox to go for that may be hitting the free agent?
Um, it's hard to say because we're so far away right now from really competing that it feels like one player isn't really gonna change anything. We could have Bryce Harper, we could have Aaron Judge. We probably still wouldn't be very good. Um, so I guess not really. I think the best thing we can do is just get as many get as many guys in our pitching staff who can throw as hard as possible. I think that's a big thing now is just having a steeple of guys who throw 100 miles an hour out of the bullpen. Because really, you can get that through the draft pretty cheap, and if you get enough guys like that, some of them are bound to figure out where the ball's going. Um, and then just power, just drafting power, um, so that we can hit home runs because clearly we're not playing the same way we used to, where it's clean defense and good pitching. So I'd say try to develop the bullpen and get some guys who hit home runs.
So I know you're not just a White Sox fan. You have many other players you probably like Mookie Betts. And do you have any other players, that are not on the White Sox that you enjoy watching, like Joe Connie?
Yeah, I mostly like pitchers. I like to watch pitchers and see like if they throw similar to how I throw. Um, One guy I love to watch is Jordan Hicks, who's with the Giants now. He used to be with the Cardinals.
Yep, I am familiar with him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. His mechanics aren't like super perfect, and honestly, mine aren't either. Um, and I think we throw pretty similar. Obviously, he throws harder than I do, but I like him a lot. I like Freddie Freeman. I feel like he's just so consistent. And I used to love Mike Trout and not like Bryce Harper. But I got to say, I think I like Bryce Harper better than I do Trout right now. He's shown that he's really clutch. He gets it done in the big moments, and I got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I've been growing to like Bryce Harper too. He actually been mellowing out as a player, when
Yep.
I'm super happy to see. But I'm more happy to hear when he came to Philly that really changed my heart for him is when he gave up his number um to play on the Phillies to in respect of Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay was actually one of my favorite pitchers growing up, and so he just went with the number 3, even though I don't remember what his number would be for, but he didn't take the number that he would normally go for because of Roy Halladay. So I think it was
Yeah.
32. So
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was either 32 or 36.
yeah,
34. 34. That's what it
yeah,
was. 30.
34. That's what it was.
Yep.
I knew it was somewhere in the 30s.
Yep.
And he didn't take that number because of Roy Halladay. And once I heard that, I had a whole different view of him, and knowing that he knows baseball history and respects the history for what it is. Yeah, like you said, he, showed that he can play, and, obviously he's not getting injured like Mike Trout. Mike Trout is almost becoming like the next Mickey Mantle, where he gets injured all the time. And
Yeah.
Mike Trout been getting injured like since every year since 2017, and it's just sad to see, but at the same time,
That's how
he
it
got hit with
goes.
the Indy bug. That's how it goes, yeah. So I've seen a change in Mike Trout too, and you know, so I'm with you. It kind of bothered me a little bit that I'm going that way, but at the same time, it's hard not to like the guy either.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
so is there any like specific team that you think gonna go all the way? Like, do you have a team like that team's going all the way?
I think the Phillies. We were just talking about Harper. I think they've been close for a while. Um, and the Dodgers got their turn. The Astros they've been good for 5, 6 years now. I think it's the Phillies' turn to win one. They've been knocking right on the door for a while.
Yeah, I think the Phillies have a team that can be good for a while, and I wouldn't mind seeing them win one too.
Yeah,
Um, Although the team that I picked to go all the way this year is Baltimore Orioles, so
it's a
you
good
know
pick. They're a good team.
they're doing good right now. I gotta say, solid. They just called up Jackson Holiday, and now they just called up another player, and I'm happy for Jackson Holiday that he's doing well.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a beast.
the Phillies, yeah, they had a great team with Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner,
Yeah,
all those guys. I mean, yes, the Dodgers have won a World Series, but I wouldn't mind them seeing a World Series this time now, because I feel like back when they won it during COVID, I know a lot of people are just kind of complaining, well, you only won 80 games, so you didn't play a full season. So I would like to see them play, full season and win a World Series to show everybody the kind of team they got, because they do. They got an incredible team. I mean, yes, if I lose my pick over the Dodgers and Phillies, I'll be okay. I'm not gonna be heartbroken as long as it's not the same team like the Yankees, you know,
Yeah.
and that'll be okay with me. But you know, we'll see what happens. You know, there's a new playoff format, and you know, teams change. I mean, me and my friend Jake were just talking about this on the last podcast where the D-backs and the Rangers, they were not looking hot, and then all of a sudden they did in the postseason, and it just changed. They got the momentum, and they went all the way.
That's how it
You know,
goes.
we just don't know what can happen. You
Yeah.
know, so we'll see. You know, so that's playoff baseball for you.
Sure
So
is.
if you were, I have one more question, then I'll let you get going. And so if you were to build a phantom team, who would be your 9 players that you want? Like kind of like a fantasy team. Like it could be a former player, it could be a current player. You know.
I think we'll just do one pitcher then.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, for the pitcher, I feel like you got to go with Scooble from the Tigers. He's young. He's left-handed. Throws hard. Locates well. I think you take him. Uh, he has pretty repeatable mechanics too. You know, pretty consistent. And then catcher will go. We'll go Will Smith from the Dodgers. He's been pretty good. Um,
He's a good catcher.
First base. He's not too young anymore, but I think I'll go Harper to kind of bring like a veteran presence. You know, Bryce Harper, and then second base. I think I got to go Ketel Marte from the Diamondbacks. He's just been on a tear. I used to play MLB The Show a couple of years back, and he's just the best player to hit with. And he's like that in real life too. He's a good hitter, good defender. Shortstop. He's fallen off a little bit, but I still think Francisco Lindor is probably my guy at shortstop. I think him and Ketel Marte up the middle would be a good defense. And then third base, I guess got to give some love to Arnando. He's he's not as good as he used to be, but he's still defensively probably the best defender in the league, and you know his battle come back around. Um, let's see the outfield. I'm taking Judge, of course, but I'm not putting him in center. I feel like he's not quite doesn't quite have the range. I know he's pretty moves pretty well for his size, but I'm gonna put Judge in right. Um, we'll go Corbin Carroll in center, and who am I putting in left? I guess we'll give Chicago some love. I'll go Cody Bellinger in left. And if I had to pick again, I'd probably pick Paul Skeens as the pitcher. It's hard to pick anybody else than him right now.
Have you watched him pitch lately?
Oh yeah,
He's pretty good.
he's
That
pretty
guy.
good. Yeah.
So I know I said this was my last question, but I actually just thought of some other question I wanted to ask you. What other stadiums have you been to? You know, besides Comiskey and Wrigley Field. I remember you and your brother and your dad took a trip out east and toured the stadiums out there. You know,
Yeah, I've been to a lot of stadiums. I've been to, let's see, let's count them out. White
I think
Sox,
fans show us
Cubs,
here.
White Sox, Cubs, Tigers, Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Orioles, Pirates, Mariners, Giants, A's, Brewers.
All right.
Yeah,
Been to Miller.
been to Miller. Feel like there's maybe a
We still
couple
call
more.
it Miller up here, so you
I'm
know.
thinking. I'm thinking. Oh, I've been to the Phillies Stadium.
I was
Um,
gonna say you went out eat, and I
yeah,
gotta say, when you guys did that trip, I don't really get jealous, but I was jealous of you guys going on that trip. I'm like,
yeah, it was a cool one.
you know, and but what a great opportunity it was too. So,
It
but
was really
anyway,
cool.
so what one would you say besides? I know you say you like the White Sox Stadium. What one would you say was the nicest stadium? I hear the Pirates had a nice stadium. I always thought the Pirates had a nice stadium from the look of it. You know, what's
Yeah,
your thought?
I think the Pirates Stadium was really nice. I think my favorite though was the Camden Yards in Baltimore. I really like that stadium. Or the Giants. I think the Giants Stadium right over McCovey Cove there. It's hard to beat.
Um, so I know you might have mentioned that you played against Colvin Carroll. So
Yep.
what was he like on the field? What was he like as a person? You know, you play college ball, you play travel ball, so you got to see some of these players, in person instead of like from the media. What would a player like Colvin Carroll like?
Yeah, I played him when we were I think 17 and his team was filled with studs. It was Pudge Rodriguez, the catcher. His son was on that team. It was the Evo Shield Canes, and they had like 25 Division One commits. And even with his team being so good, he stuck out, and it was obvious he was the best player. He was just more athletic than everyone, faster. Um, but a lot of the guys on his team were like a little bit like showboaty, but he wasn't like that. He was pretty humble and just was just playing the game the right way. Another guy I know is Bobby Miller, who he was up with the Dodgers last year, and
Yeah,
yeah, he's been struggling this year. He had a couple injuries, but I've actually met him personally a handful of times, and he's a pretty nice guy. I know he's gotten some internet hate. There's been some videos of him doing not great stuff off the field, but I think he's really young, and I think he'll mellow out, kind of like how Harper did.
I mean, we hope. I haven't heard any of those things, but
Yeah,
the guy, you've
yeah.
seen him. Um, and I just thought of this question a week ago. Do you have a favorite, you know, city connection your jersey that's been going on? Do you like the White Sox Southside jersey, or how you how you
I
take on that?
don't. I don't like the White Sox Southside jersey. I don't.
'Cause I'm not a big fan of it myself. I'm like,
I don't really like the City Connect jerseys altogether. I prefer a more classic look. The intense colors. I don't know. It's not really my thing.
yeah. No,
Um,
I hear you. I don't like Nike. I don't like that they have the logo on every jersey, everywhere you go. I'm like, come on, we really need Nike
yeah,
more and more. And no, I hear you. I'm not that big on the City Connection jersey, but some of them do look cool. I like the Houston Astros City Connection jersey. I think they just look pretty cool. They had that space vibe going
yep,
on.
yep,
Um, Other than that, the rest of them, they kind of look, you know.
yeah.
Do you have a favorite jersey besides, the
I
classic?
mean, it's hard to beat the Yankees pinstripes. It's such a classic look. I don't like the Yankees, but you got to admit they look good in those pinstripes.
Yeah, I never thought I'd hear you say that.
It's the truth, you know it.
After putting that label on you being a #1 Yankees fan,
Yep.
I think I did some damage there.
You might have.
I'll take the fall on that one.
Yep.
You know, even though as long as you're not hoping for them to be in the playoff, I think we're okay. Because I don't want them.
Yeah, I'm not hoping for them.
You know, I am rooting for Judd to break the single season home run record. You know, to knock Bond off, but by the way it looks right now, I don't think he's gonna do it this year. If you do the math, there's no way. He would have to hit a home run like every day till the end of the season.
Yeah.
But
that'd be
it's
tough.
not possible. But I like Aaron Judge, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll see. You know, thanks for coming on, Rigel. I'm gonna let you get going, and we should do this again sometime. Don't be shy.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Good to talk to you. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun. All right. Take care, Max.
You too. Bye.